have any money. We couldn't have done anything. Because during all these publications and the years passing by, it has become essentially impossible in Sweden to get any funding to do the kind of research and experiments that you are asking for. But I know that the situation is, of course, much better here in Ireland. But in Sweden, it's a dead end, it's dead stop to this, you know. So I'm happy he didn't arrive, because then I would have had to send him back immediately to Japan. Another observation which we would love to expand upon, and this is again from normal healthy volunteers, normal human skin. What you see is the uppermost portion of the skin called the epidermis, and these small white worms, they are no worms, they are nerve fibers. And you have a number of such nerve fibers in your skin all over the body, and they are differently arranged and so on. I will not go into any details, but if you look on exactly the same place in skin from people with electrohypersensitivity, they have a dramatic reduction in number, and the few nerve fibers that you see, they look very, very diminished and altered. And that's very interesting, because there's a common knowledge in neuroscience that says that if you have a reduction of nerve fibers, they have to work much more, each one of them, and that is called supersensitivity. And people will then suddenly react to things they normally do not react to. And again, maybe this is part of the explanation why people with electrohypersensitivity tends to react to things that the rest of the population doesn't. Unfortunately, we ran out of money before we could conclude these studies, so we have not been able to formally publish them, but I still wanted to just show you an example. And as I said, I could go on like this using the bioinitiative report, but it would take quite time to go through all the different publications, so I will leave that now, and instead I will dwell upon some few papers that has been published after our 600-page thick report. And if we should do it today, it will be much thicker than 600 pages. And I will mention a few of them. Here is a study where the effects of cell phone usage on semen, male sperm cells, was investigated, and these scientists could show that the use of cell phones decreased the semen quality in men by decreasing the sperm count, the sperm motility, viability, and normal morphology. Is that good? May that be a part of the explanation regarding the mice in Greece? What that part of what happened to them? Well, it's of course not good. Again, we are talking about the issues we call children. We tend to forget that they will be grown-ups. They will form families and get their own time capsules that they send forward in time. And they will get their babies and babies and babies, if they can. And again, as I said, if you look around Europe, for instance, the number of newborns per country or annum or population is steadily decreasing. And that is, of course, not very good at all. If you expose pregnant women to a mobile phone, that will significantly increase fetal and neonatal heart rate and significantly decrease the cardiac output. In layman's terms, do you want your children to be stressed just because you want to phone someone and say that you're on your way home? Is that worth it? I don't think so. If I saw this as a parent, I would go pretty angry. You remember this debate article with this fancy guy with his fancy Porsche, which I showed at the beginning of the lecture, and I said that the debate editor had written that maybe it was the microwaves from the mobile phones that had killed this person, and everyone was laughing. Well, we don't laugh any longer, because Dirk Adam has published a PhD thesis where he could show in mortality studies that the survival rates are decreasing in groups exposed to mobile phone radiation. They actually kill these animals. Do you like that? Another very interesting study, and there has been a lot of debate, could microwaves be part of the very rapid increase in various cancer forms, for instance, female breast cancer? And the answer is no, it doesn't seem to really initiate or drive forward these cancer forms in females, but it has been shown in a very prestigious journal that electromagnetic fields reduce the efficiency of tamoxifen, which is the #1 treatment, similar to tamoxifen resistance. So the women that has got breast cancer, they will more readily and more rapidly die because of the irradiation. Another study which is just fantastic, because maybe these people with electrohypersensitivity are just imagining things, and maybe people with cancer clusters around schools are just sort of imagining this. Well, then you can take tomato plants, because they never imagine anything, and when tomato plants are exposed to radiofrequent fields, and again in this case they used 900 megahertz GSM mobile phone irradiation, the tomato plants reacted with an engineered stimulus. And the authors actually wrote that the tomato plant cells behave as if someone had crushed them with a hammer. Is that good? You like that? A big area which is very often debated in the public press is, of course, the association between mobile phone use and